Hey everybody, I realized I did not send out conference information last night like I meant to. So here I wanted to walk you through conferences, what they will look like, and where to find all the information. So if you go inside the Bel Air 2020-2021 staff folder, there is a shared folder already created called Conferences. If you go into that, right now all the documents you need are in there. I will have one more document later sending home the date and time after conferences are confirmed. So this first document, the preference letter for fall, looks a little bit different. And I had some teachers help me with this. These were their suggestions. Since conferences will be virtual, there's some additional information that we're collecting from parents. So you can see it says conferences will be held on Thursday, November 5th and Tuesday, November 10th. They will be virtual or distance, either through a phone call or a Google Meet. Parents will receive first quarter grade cards for their child or children on Tuesday, November 3rd. Please indicate below your preference for conferences. If you have multiple children, please fill out the section on sibling. Please fill out the information below so we can best fit your family needs. Our goal is 100% of families participating. So here we have sibling name, student name, siblings, name, grade levels, parent or guardian who will participate in conferences. So mom, dad, grandma, aunt, whoever we want their name here. What's their preference? Is it through a Google Meet or a phone call? And then the best email address to use for a Google Meet, the best phone number to use for a phone call. Then we go to my preference is, and Thursday, November 5th. And then we gave them chunks of time, 3 to 5 or 5 to 7. And Tuesday, November 10th, same chunks of time, 3 to 5 or 5 to 7. And then a box, please reach out to schedule a different time for conferences. And this was a added suggestion. What would you like to discuss during our conference? And just giving it a little open-ended for parents so that you are not blindsided by anything that might be brought up at conferences. So this form is being copied currently and will be in everybody's mailboxes by the end of today. You can send this home. I'm a little wary of sending it home on Friday just because it's a 3-day weekend, so I would prefer you send it home on Tuesday, October 13th, and then hope to get it back during that week sometime. So some other things in the conference folder. So there's also a electronic version. If you would like to, it has the same exact questions as the paper version. You can choose to send home the paper version, or you can choose to email this out to your parents. If you choose this way, make a copy and put your name at the front. This will gather the same information as the paper. It'll just be in one place versus papers, and then you don't have to worry about the kids taking it home and bringing it back. They will have to fill out multiple forms for multiple teachers, so that's why it's important to put your teacher name so they know which teacher they are filling this out for. Okay. Again, if you want to use this, that's great, and if you want to use the paper one, it's fine. It's collecting the same information. So if, for example, I made a copy and called it Schleter here, I just forgot to change it in here to Alicia Schleter's name. So you could do that pretty easily. She could go in and edit that right there, and then it collects all the information. Okay, once we send preference letters out, then we're going to start getting those back, and then this is the form we have used for the last couple of years. Let me see if I can move my screen so you can see what I see. Sorry, give me a second. Okay. So we've got the directions for sending out. I said by Friday, October 9th. I really think you probably should wait to do that. All ELL conferences, try to schedule those for Thursday, November 5th, and contact Lori Mayberry if you need a translator. We will not meet as a large group to schedule siblings. There is a siblings master list in the conference folder, so please reach out to the other teachers to schedule the siblings. Complete your tab, and I will show you what I mean by that in a second. A lot of you already know. To indicate, and then indicate on there if it will be Google Meet, Zoom, or by phone. So those of us, if you're inviting, we know if we need to come, if it's a phone call, we come to your room, or if it's Google, then send us the link for that for the calendar invite with the Google link. This is the note I don't have ready yet. Send notes home to parents when their scheduled time is. And this is why we went to the schedule. If they need to reschedule, Valerie and Heather need to know when they're scheduled for so they can help by keeping your tab updated. And if you want any others to be present at the conference, please request it via email. That way we can all meet at the same time in the same place. Let me see if I can show you the tabs. Because of course, I didn't make my screen quite big enough. There we go. So at the bottom down here, there are tabs for each teacher. And then you can see I've just left big slots of times. One of the recommendations by the teachers was saying, some kids, we need more than 15 minutes. And other kids, 15 minutes is plenty of time. So I kind of left it open. You can kind of choose, how many students you want in each time period. That way, if you need somebody that has multiple, more concerns, you want a longer conversation, if you want to put in 3 names and not really say exactly what time you're going to call them at, but, after you're going to do this family first and then call that family and then call the next family. I think you've got to make it work for you since people aren't coming into our building. I think we have a little more flexibility to make the conferences look exactly the way we need to. So this is Mrs. Heyman's tab, and she would just fill in approximately who. So here's where you're going to do virtual by phone. It's pretty easy, I think, for you guys to do that. And then the last thing is that master list of siblings. It's in here already. It's the same as our car rider list. So if you have that, but this way you could see, it has, for example, Fadila and Rashida, what their grades are, who their teachers are. So Mrs. Yanis knows she needs to contact Mrs. Hoofendick when they're working on scheduling the conference, because you don't want to be trying to call them at the same time. We did try to ask if there was a way to, transfer calls from one room to another, and there's not at this time. So that's going to be kind of tricky, making sure that we figure out how to do that. Also, if you call from your classroom phone, that's great. If they don't answer, it's going to ring back to the office. So one of the things that we need to make sure we mention is that they don't call back to the number, because Miss Valerie will be going crazy with phone calls to the office. So, you might mention, if I don't reach you, then please just wait. I will try to call you again at a later time. Don't call back to the office at this point, because that's way too many phone calls. And I know when we were reaching out for initial contacts at the beginning of the year, that was happening a lot. So I just want to point out another, if these two, like this one, Avery and Jamie, though while they have the same last name, they are not siblings, so they are separated. So just so you know that. And I tried to catch everybody that, even if they do not have the same last name, is put together. So I hope I got everybody. But again, this is just me looking and knowing the kids in our school, and I am sure that I have accidentally missed somebody. So that is conferences in a nutshell. I think we talked a little bit about what to actually do or go over for conferences, and most people felt very comfortable and confident that they knew what they needed to talk to parents about at conferences. Of course, you will want to check that they received the grade card, and if they have any questions about the grade card. Conferences is a great time to talk about attendance, especially students arriving late or leaving early often, not necessarily students who have been sick or ill. Of course, we don't want them at school if they're sick, but it's those students who are late, missing unexcused wise, or leaving early. See if you can figure out a plan to get them here all day, every day. So other than that, it's up to you what you need to talk to parents about. And hopefully when they get that letter, you get your preference letter back, you know exactly what concerns or what they want to talk about, and you can have a plan of attack. So hopefully this helps, and now you know, and you can get started planning for conferences.